Things certainly starting to pick up here at the Xavier University Convocation Center as we're just about an hour away from that program, remembering Dr. Francis. But here's the thing, when you lead a university for almost 50 years, one thing is for certain, two things for sure. Your impact is significant and your influence is far-reaching. And we certainly saw that to be the case with everyone who has paid tribute to Dr. Francis. In his 47 years of leading Xavier University, three things happened. He expanded the physical footprint of the university here in Gerttown. People will tell you they'll remember when Xavier was just a couple of buildings, and now it takes up several blocks in the Gerttown neighborhood. He also expanded the academic offerings, the academic programming here at Xavier University, and he upped the national profile of Xavier University, spoken of favorably in the national conversation. Here's what you need to know about Dr. Francis. During his time here, student enrollment actually tripled while he was here. He positioned Xavier as a producer of black doctors and black pharmacists. Even when this campus was flooded in 2005 after Hurricane Katrina, Dr. Francis had Xavier back up and running in 2006. He was committed to academic excellence, the university's Catholic identity, and racial uplift. Those were some of his core values from everyone that we've talked to today. We talked to one woman, former Insurance Commissioner Jim Donnellan's wife. She says that Dr. Francis changed the trajectory of her life.
He suggested I come here. I had a degree in biology from UNO, and I was thinking of doing graduate school or nursing school. And we saw him at a party, and he says, should come to Xavier for pharmacy school.
And that she did. She came to pharmacy school. She just retired as a pharmacist 10 years ago, but it was that one chance meeting with Dr. Francis that altered the direction of her career. And those stories that we have been hearing, stories like that all day. My colleague, Alyssa Gomez, is here. She has been talking to people who've come out to pay their respects as well. Alyssa.
Yeah, Gina, the visitation is now underway, but since the door to the Convocation Center opened for the viewing earlier this morning, there have been hundreds of people filing in and out, taking their time on this Monday to honor the life of Dr. Norman C. Francis. Now, in speaking with people that were visiting today, it is clear that Dr. Francis leaves behind a lasting impact on Xavier University and the city of New Orleans. We've heard stories about how he roamed around campus, stopping to chat with faculty and students. We've heard about his efforts to uplift the university following Hurricane Katrina. We've talked with people who have worked alongside Dr. Francis. Some grew up knowing him, and others may have never even met him, but still look up to him and hope to follow in his footsteps. We asked several people what they hope the next generation learns from Dr. Francis and his character. Here's what they had to say.
But I just hope, in a positive side, that the next generation can take some of his attributes, like I mentioned earlier, his kindness, his patience, and his empathy for the people in general.
I hope the younger generation, it doesn't matter, all the generation, just keep the drive going, just keep it going.
And again, the visitation goes until 5, followed by a program from 5 to 7 o'clock tonight, highlighting his life and the impact on, again, New Orleans and Xavier University as a whole. Live at Xavier University, Alyssa Gomez, WDSU News. Gina, back to you.
Alyssa, so many stories we're hearing. Such a rich life Dr. Francis lived. We have much more on his life, his legacy as an educator and civil rights pioneer right now on our website, WDSU.com. Back to you guys in the studio.